Shalom. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, and double honors to the elders and apostles from Apostle Hart on down, Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Alright, so today I wanted to do a lesson briefly going into how humility can save you. It can literally save your life. Because pride is what leads unto death, essentially. You know, scriptures say, in the book in Proverbs, it says, pride cometh before destruction, and a haughty spirit, leadeth unto shame, roughly paraphrasing. So when you have a prideful mentality, a prideful spirit, haughty, shameless, it leadeth unto humiliation, it leadeth unto temptation, destruction, judgment, ultimately death, in the latter end. You know what I mean? So the scriptures even say, be not, and it also goes to how be not over wicked much. Why shouldst thou destroy thyself before thy time? You know what I mean? Also going into don't be over righteous, but the point is being over wicked, because pride can lead us into wickedness, and having excess pride can also be a form of wickedness. So I gotta roll windows down, it's hot. Can be a form of wickedness, and we're coming into some times where we're gonna have to start cashing in on our faith, and the Most High really is gonna continue to pour into our vessels, or into our spirits, if you will. He's gonna pour into us faith, which will grant us salvation, deliverance, mercy, and things of that nature. When not only leading up to Jacob's trouble, but most importantly during Jacob's trouble, when all hell, chaos, civil unrest, sedition, things like that. When you lose all your freedoms and liberties, if you will, you know what I mean? And it's going to be pretty much dog eat dog world to the fullest. You know what I mean? Survival of the fittest, as they call it. You know what I mean? Where only the strong survive. But in this time, it's reality is that it's going to be like a time like never seen before, pursuing to what Daniel 12 and Jeremiah, I want to say 30, Jeremiah 30 and 7. Jacob's trouble is going to be like a time like never before seen on the earth, where there's going to be all out judgment and chaos. 2 Ezra 15 and 16 goes into that in depth. Cannibalism, famine, robbery, rape, murder, deceit, racism, you name it. Only the humble are going to survive, bro. The humble and the elite. The elite are going to be survived because they're going to be, in their bunkers and shit, submarines, wherever the hell they at. But the Most High is preserving them to be first fruits in the kingdom of heaven as slaves and servants. And then the elect are the ones that the Most High is going to justify, and the ones that are actually going to see salvation, which salvation is ultimately going into mercy of the destruction, and really death. That's really what salvation is. All right, the Most High is saving us from death, and we shall know death no more. Right? The elect are going to know no death, Lord willing. Myself and likewise brothers and sisters are of that number, but the elect are not going to taste of death, bro. Some you're gonna have some martyrs, but in general, the mass majority are not going to see death, bro. You know what I mean? You're gonna go straight from a mortal body to an immortal body, and that's salvation. And then everything that you inherit from that point on, the kingdom of heaven, wisdom, righteousness, knowledge of all things, power. But you got to be humble before you can receive that, because people of this world, they seek to receive their glory and their honor now in this world by trying to obtain riches, fame, and usually on the road to riches and fame causes you to you know, you gotta screw some people over in this world, man, in some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? And you gotta be obsessed. For the most part, you gotta be obsessed. And obsession with anything of this world is prideful, because this world teaches you to be self-made and selfish and do for you, don't do for others, you know, or worry about yourself before you worry about others. But that's contrary to what this truth says. This truth states that you should be selfless. Sometimes you put people before yourself. Now, obviously not at the detriment of yourself. That's the difference. But sometimes it's choosing someone else to get a win over you, if you're not going to be hurt by them getting this win, if that makes sense. So, but it takes a humble spirit to do that, you know what I mean? And humility will literally save you in the time to come. You know, when you're humble, you put the Lord first. You know, you think upon the Lord's word. You understand that there's nothing that you can do to deliver yourself, but everything that you have, everything you obtain, everything you know, everything you produce is that of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. It's his doing. You know, it's his mercy. It's the power that he has given you, the knowledge he has given you to even understand these words. Whereas we put the work in, we labor, yeah, we go ahead and read, we do the work, we're consistent, but really it's the spirit within us that the Most High is watering that plant, right? Look at this, the spirit like a plant. And the Most High is watering that plant. As we what? We go out and we labor, yes, we utilize our liberty. When you go into the scriptures, that word liberty goes into how what is it? I want to say it as close to verbatim as possible. It says true liberty, right? True liberty is living how we should and not as we please. So when you are living as you should, pursuing to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible, and everything it encompasses, not even just the law itself, but the character traits, the personality traits, the charity and efforts that you put forth based on the scriptures, is what true liberty is. That's how you should live. Your effort, you're being charitable, you're putting brothers before yourself. You genuinely want brothers and sisters to progress and grow like you do, right? Love your neighbor as you love yourself, and serve the Lord, right? So that's what we do in order for our spirits to be justified in the times to come. What is it? Romans 8, somewhere around the 28th verse, where it states that we are predestinated. The elect are predestinated to be conformed to the image of the Son, which is Yahushua, which basically means that the elect are predestinated to be conformed to the teachings, ideology, and the sacrifice of Yahushua, the true sacrifice, his true nature. You have Israelites that deny Yahushua. You have Israelites that don't believe who Yahushua really is. They believe in the Jesus Christ version of him, but not the truth of him. Those that don't believe in the true Yahushua are not the elect, because they're not conformed to the image. But those who are predestinated, right, they were known beforehand. They were predestinated to be conformed to Yahushua. And the elect are justified through their actions and sacrifices and their efforts that they put forth. So that's what it really comes down to. The scriptures also say that through humility, when you humble yourself before the Lord, you stay, pretty much, I'm roughly paraphrasing, and I believe it's Peter 5 and 6, I believe, where it states that when you humble yourself before the Lord, He will exalt you in due time. In its due time, the Most High will exalt you when you humble yourself and you remain humble before the Lord. I'm never walking around here talking about something, I'm him, I'm that guy, self-made, I'm that, you know what I mean? I'm not doing all that, because at the end of the day, look, all praise to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. I do something good or something good happens in my life, even if it's by my efforts, guess what? All praise to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Why? Because You can labor in vain. It's a very real thing. You know how many people have labored for years and years and have never seen success? Could it be underlying issues of errors? Maybe they're not doing it the right way. Who knows? Maybe they're doing it pridefully. Maybe they're not listening to the counsel of people around them to make changes to their work so that they can succeed. Who knows? But at the end of the day, guess what? It's pride. You got people in your life, yo, brother, listen, if you try to do it this way, if you do it this way, you'll see the results you're looking for. Nah, man, I'm gonna just stick to what I got, man. I did my research. I know what I gotta do. It just take time. But you never heed the advice of all the people around you. Pride. So, those things are gonna cost you in the very near future in the time to come. So, you gotta make sure that you are constantly heeding to the signs that the Most High is giving you. Sometimes those signs and the Lord comes through and the Lord speaks through people in your life. Especially people you know to be sound. Brothers in your camp. Other, elders that may not necessarily be in the truth, but just they give you sound wisdom and knowledge, and you gotta heed that. So, I think that's pretty much the point. How humility can save you in the time to come, because Jacob's trouble is coming very soon, man. Very, very soon. Very, very soon. It's going to come before you know it. It says Yahushua is going to come like a thief in the night, which basically means he's going to come in a time where you're not expecting it. So always be on your watch, so that even if you're not, we're always expecting the thief. We just don't know when the thief's going to come. But if you're always ready, if you stay ready, you never got to get ready, and that's the point, man. And a big part of being ready is just being humble, bro. And being humble means to just simply give your life to the Lord, man, and put away this weak world. Lord willing, this video is edifying. Until next time, shalom.